He's an extraordinary man, and I'm very, very honored to have him. Please, a warm, warm welcome for Kute Blackson.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. I said good evening. I can't hear you. Connie promised me. She said, if you come out to be with my group, these amazing group of light beings in Beverly Hills. Are we in Beverly Hills tonight or what? See, I want to know one thing. Can we talk? I know it's getting late, and I'm going to keep this short, but can we talk tonight? I want to know how you would say good evening if you felt the divinity of life breathing in your toes. If you were in touch with right now, the fact that there was a heartbeat, an intelligence beating your heart right now, that there was an intelligence translating every single thing I'm saying to allow you to see the infinite ray and rainbow of colors. I want to know how you would say good evening if you were fully in touch with the gratitude, my friends, of being, someone say of being radically alive. Good evening, everyone. Now I know I'm in Beverly Hills. All right. How's everyone feeling? You know, I've been looking forward to being here, and I really am honored that you've come out tonight and that you stayed the night and that we get to hang out together tonight. We have a short period of time. So I want you to maybe stand up. And I'm going to give you literally, before we sit back down and jump ahead over the next 30 minutes, I want to know who's ready. I want to know who's ready. We're not here to play. I want you to introduce yourself to 3 to 5 people that you don't know, that you would like to know, and I'd like you to tell them 2 things that are amazing about you. Are you ready? 2 things that are amazing about you. Find 3 people. Go. 3 people that you don't know. And tell them 3 things that's amazing about you. Don't be shy. A couple more people. A couple more people. Someone you don't know.
Yes. Exactly.
One more person and grab a seat. One more person and grab a seat. All right. Grab a seat. Grab a seat, everyone. Grab a seat, grab a seat, grab a seat. You are a crazy bunch. Grab a seat. Grab a seat. You guys and girls are out of control. Grab a seat. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Grab a seat. How was that? How was that, everyone? All right. You know what excites me is that you guys and girls are a crazy bunch. Who's ready to have a little fun tonight? Yes? 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 In the corner, yes?
Yes.
You know, what excites me is that whenever we get together with an intention on loving, whenever we get together with an intention of higher awareness, whenever we gather with an intention on consciousness, it creates a certain field. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It creates a certain vortex, a certain field of energy. Just by all of us gathering together, we're creating a certain frequency here, right in the heart of Beverly Hills. You know, it's often said that when a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the planet, it affects the other side of the planet. Just by that movement, I feel as though by us gathering together today with the intention on loving you and I right here together, we are creating a ripple in the heart of Los Angeles. Can you feel it?
Yes.
So here's what I'm going to propose. That perhaps in the next 30 minutes, we do something, that you do something, that I do something, that we all do something that you've never done before. You might be thinking, what is that? But you see, we have a short time together. And my intention is not just to give you a few ideas, a few notes, a few things to think about, and then tomorrow wake up and you go, well, what happened last night? I have one intention. Because time is short, life is short, I have one intention. I have a couple, actually. But one of my main intentions when I give a talk, before I even start, see, I believe it's no accident that you amazing people, this group of amazing souls, just look around. Just look around. Just take a look around. I believe it's no accident that somehow, in the synchronicity of life, that your souls have gathered here today for a reason. You might think it was to meet some people. You might think it was because your friend invited you. You might think it was maybe to find a date. You might think, who knows? Tell the truth. I can read your mind. What I'm going to propose to you today, as I feel the space, that there's something that's brought you here. And my intention in the short time we have together is that as a result of you being here right now, that you experience a breakthrough, a shift in one particular area of your life. Perhaps it's that area you've been struggling with. Perhaps it's that area that you're not wanting to deal with. Perhaps it's that area where you've been blocked. I'm going to invite you to just open yourself to the collective energy that we are creating together. Look around, look around, look around. The creative energy that we are creating together in this space. Because where two or three or more are gathered together, it creates a certain field. A certain field. Someone say field.
Field.
Someone say frequency.
Frequency.
We're creating a certain frequency. So I just want to know, are you willing to be open and are you willing to believe?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
See, I'm going to share a few simple things today for you to think about. But when I was a little boy, my first memory was seeing, literally. Want to know what my first memory was?
Yes.
My first memory was literally seeing, being this chubby little kid, seeing a crippled woman crawling on the sand in Ghana, West Africa. She barely could open her arms and legs and she was crippled. And as she just crawled through the sand, as I was lost in the crowd and the heat poured down, I saw her pick up the sand that a man walked on and stood up. I saw this same man look at a woman in a wheelchair who was obviously handicapped, and he looked at her and he said, "Stand up. Stand up." And she would say, but I'm sick. And he said, "Do you believe? Do you believe everything you've read? Do you believe the information? Do you believe? Or is it just information?" I believe, my friend, time has come. We're living in exciting times. This man was my father. And I grew up seeing miracles happen over and over and over again. So I'm here just to take a stand today, to hold the space that in the short period of time we're together, that just if you're willing for 1 second to be open, if you're willing for 1 second to just allow yourself to be available. Are you available? Are you available to something inside of yourself and inside of your heart shifting? The mind always wants to know, how is it going to happen? It works linearly, but there are so many different levels of existence that are happening simultaneously where things can move if you're willing to just believe and be open. See, we're living in exciting times where I believe and I feel that as visionaries that you all are, as leaders that you all are, we're being called to a higher level. We're living in exciting times where old paradigms are collapsing. Do you know what I'm saying? Old systems, old paradigms, the economy, old ways of doing things, old limiting ways and paradigms of doing relationship, old ways of economics, old ways of education, old things are collapsing. Does anyone know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you look at the news, we're often calling it a crisis. Crisis, oh shit, crisis, the world's falling apart. Oh my God, what's happening? But you know, in Chinese, the word crisis also, on the flip side, means opportunity. That perhaps in this time, my friends, in this particular time in human history, right now, that there is something more that is seeking to express on planet Earth. There is something more that perhaps is seeking to express in your life. I'm not sure what you might be going through, but life is a process. Is it not?
Yes.
It's a continual evolution and process that no matter where you get and where you've reached, there's always more happening. And as we're living in these amazing times where these old systems are collapsing, what excites me to see you here tonight in the heart of Beverly Hills. Someone say Beverly Hills. Tell to someone, say Beverly Hills. We're not in Bombay. We're not in Bali. We're not in the Himalayas. Because anyone can meditate in the Himalayas, do yoga in the Himalayas, be peaceful in the Himalayas. But the real spiritual practice that you and I are being called forth is to live our love, to live our hearts, to live our creativity, to live our passion, to live our integrity, not just in an ashram in the mountains, but in life, where each moment is that opportunity to practice your meditation, your prayer, your yoga, and your intention. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
I said, are you ready?
Yes.
This is exciting times, my friends, because as these old systems collapse, it allows the space for something new to be given birth to. Yet sometimes we hold on. Does anyone notice? We hold on to what we know. We hold on to what's familiar. We hold on to what's comfortable. See, I feel as though as these old systems, these old ways, these old paradigms are falling apart, perhaps we are amidst of the greatest spiritual revolution that the world has ever seen. In that you, as leaders, as influencers, are on the forefront of moving the bar forward of the planetary evolutionary process that is happening right now.
Right on.
Are you ready?
Right on.
You and I we won the cosmic lottery ticket to be alive right now. At this time. It's no accident. Look around. Look around. Look around. Look around. But I believe that if you have a dream, if you have a vision, who has a dream and a vision? Anyone not have a dream and a vision? Because we're going to come find you. So I want you all to just say, raise your hands in the air. Everyone. Say, I have a dream.
I have a dream.
And I have a vision. See, but here's my question. To put your hands down. I have a question. Are you fully expressing and living that dream to the fullest potential and the fullest capacity that you were given? Are you living that dream, that vision, your full potential to that fullest capacity that you know in your heart is what you're meant to express? Yes? No? Possibly? Maybe? You're not sure? Are you fully expressing? See, if you have a dream, I believe that that dream is encoded in your soul for a reason. That dream is encoded in your soul, and inside of that dream is the seed for its fulfillment. That if you're ready and willing to surrender, key word, everyone say surrender. Surrender to that vision, surrender to that dream. Something will happen. A process will happen where that dream, where it's no longer about you trying to just do the dream, but that dream will start to do you. Because encoded in that is the intelligence for its fulfillment. Yet there's certain things that sometimes stop us. Has anyone noticed? Yes? We've read the books, we've been to the seminars, we've listened to the tapes, yet some of us even know what to do. Yet, sometimes, certain things stop us. Has anyone noticed? What is it for you? At least what is it that you have convinced yourself that it might be? Because sometimes the mind is very sneaky. Has anyone noticed? See, I feel that when we're born fully free, fully alive, fully in touch with our essence. You know, have you seen a little child? Who has kids here? Who's not sure? A few of you like, do I have a kid? Who has kids? Show of hands. Okay, good. If you look at a child, if you look at a baby, and you look into their eyes, isn't there something just magical about them? I think part of the reason we're so enamored with children is because when you look into their eyes, you see the infinite essence in a child. You see that free expression in a child. A child will just kind of jump on the table and just be free, and they don't care. They'll fall down, they'll poo their pants, they'll, run up and hug you, and it doesn't matter who you are. They don't have the blocks and the layers and the fears. And I think when we see a child, we look into a child's eyes, we see that part of ourselves that we connect with. That free essence that is the very nature of our being. Yet as children, sometimes, we're born as these bright beings into this world, and as we're born, anyone notice stuff happens? We meet our parents. Welcome to the world! And all of a sudden, can I borrow this? All of a sudden, we're these bright beings, right? Full of light, just this light. All of a sudden, we meet our parents, and we start getting a little scrunched up. Does anyone notice? Stuff happens. Pain, trauma, abuse, media, school, society. Before you know it, we kind of get thrown down. And we end up a little scrunched up in a shape. We learn as children. Going from this wide open, free state of self-expression, aliveness, freedom, unself-consciousness, all of a sudden we kind of end up a little bit like this. And we learn all sorts of ways to sometimes disconnect, not feel. We learn maybe if I'm fully expressed, if I'm fully vibrantly who I am, then it's not accepted by my mother or my father. So we learn, oh, I should hide, I should be a little more quiet, because when I'm loud and expressed, then I don't get validation. We learn a certain way of being, a certain strategy, a certain mechanism, a certain way of being in the world to just, I call it function and survive. Does anyone know what I mean? And it becomes a survival mechanism that we learn to do over and over again. And before you know it, we kind of, unconsciously end up in a certain shape over here that we then, learn to do in the world. And we go through life kind of like this, and do our relationships like this. Anyone notice? And it kind of helps us survive and avoid pain and not get too hurt. And maybe we learn a certain way of being in the world of, who do I need to be in order to be loved? If I say yes, or if I'm nice, or if I do what people want, then I get love and validation at the expense of myself, at the expense of my authenticity, at the expense of my true heart. What strategies are you living inside of? And often this way of being can sometimes become a prison. What helped us as children often can then become a prison that limits our full self-expression. And we often think, well, this is just who I am. And we get caught in a groove, a set pattern, a set rhythm, a groove, a set pattern, a set rhythm, a groove, a set pattern, a set rhythm, a way of being, a certain 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 groove, set pattern, set rhythm, certain way of being that we do, a certain way of being over and over and over and over again that limits the full fluid flexibility of our ability to dance with life and live fully. See, my question tonight is, are you willing to break free? Fully, wherever you are in your life, are you willing to fully break out of the set pattern, set groove of personality and perhaps be lived by life itself? Anyone? Anyone? To me, this is part of what it is to be radically alive, rather than doing the set pattern, set groove, set pattern, set groove, set pattern, set groove. That we know what it is over here, and there's things in our lives, whether it's relationships, whether it's the work we do, whether we've achieved a level of success and we know this thing works, it works, we know we have it on automatic. Maybe it's a marriage, we just, we know where it's at. But it's not fully bringing us full radical aliveness. Anyone want more aliveness? Anyone want more freedom? Here's what I'll say. After the last 13 years of taking people from all over the world and assisting them in breaking free of this, freedom is not always free. It will require you to give up the illusions of who you think yourself to be. Because we get caught in a set pattern, a set groove, a set pattern, a set groove, a set way of being that we call, oh, this is just who I am. Anyone? Okay. Anyone that knows someone? And then when we imagine we end up in this certain shape that we've learned to be, and we might wonder, how comes I'm not fully able to give all of the love, all of the creativity, all of the aliveness that I know is deep in my heart, that is yearning to express, that sometimes in our quiet moments we might get in touch with for a glimpse, for a second, because it can't quite get out of this. So for the next few more minutes that we're together, I'm going to play a game with you. Who wants to play a game? Anyone want to play a game? Anyway, someone going, oh shit. I kind of become comfortable where I'm at. Where have you become comfortable in your life? The real freedom, I'll say it this way. Your ability to dance with the unknown, your ability to dance with the unknown will determine your ability to experience freedom. So we're going to play a quick game as I tell you a story before we wrap up. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Really? Yes. For the next few minutes as I'm talking, I'm going to say a word. I'm just, you know what? I have to say, I'm just really excited to be here.
Yeah.
Like really. That this is happening. Can we just give Connie some love? And let's just say, Connie, Costa, we love you, Connie! This is happening in Beverly Hills. I'm gonna say a word, but you all gotta play with me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It doesn't work if you all don't play, and I'll be watching you closely. Here goes, okay? The last few minutes, last 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna say a few times a word. The word is called switch. And when I say switch, guess what happens? Dun, 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 dun. You're going to switch your chair and sit next to someone you've never sat next to. And then you're gonna hear me say switch again. And I'm gonna ask that you switch and sit next to someone you haven't sat next to. Now, if you're thinking about leaving, now is not the time to leave. Come back, come back. Are you ready? Yes. And some of you are thinking, oh no, what's about to happen? See, we get comfortable. I want you to think, where have you perhaps gotten comfortable in your life? And what would the next level be for you? And in order to move to that next level, what would be required for you to let go of switch? Switch, you got 3 seconds, switch. 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. 3 seconds, 3 seconds. Grab a seat, 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 grab a seat. Grab a seat. You partners. Grab a seat. Grab a seat. All right. Anyone having fun yet? And I want you, here's what I want you to notice, since, stick with me, we got a short time. Here's what I want you to notice. What's your relationship with the switch? Do you meet the switch with open arms? Are you someone that says, no, I'm not leaving my chair, don't take me away? What's your relationship with change? What's your relationship with letting go? Because to expand to that new level, it will require you letting go of the current chair in your life that you might be sitting on, no matter how long you've been sitting on it, and no matter how comfortable it's become. I'm inviting you today to go where it's uncomfortable in your life. To dare to go where it's a little uncomfortable in your life, where you know there's a part of us, if you're really honest, that knows where we need to go. Do you know what I'm saying? Can we talk? Yes. Isn't it? If we're really honest and we quit all the beat, we know where that next level is and where we're still holding on. See, many years ago, I reached a point in my life where I felt that there were so many gifts inside of my heart that I wanted to give. Where there was so much I felt I wanted to express that somehow wasn't fully expressing itself through my being. And I made a prayer to God. I said, God, I want to know truth. I want to know freedom for myself. I'm tired of the information. I'm tired of reading the books. I want to know for myself real freedom. So I started to travel. I put everything in storage and I started to travel the world in search of happiness, in search of freedom. And I ended up in India. Anyone been to India? Anyone? It's a crazy place. And I found myself in India, in the Himalayas. And I remember the first day I met this man with his hand up in the air. And I looked at him and his hand looked like it was kind of rock hard in his hand. And I asked him, how long has your hand been in the air? And he said, 14 years. And he said, I can teach you to do the same thing too. And I thought, the thought of that was making me depressed. I said, no, and I ran. And after about 3 months, I'd given up on my quest for freedom, on my quest for happiness, and I came to this particular town called Bodh Gaya, where the Bodhi tree is, just situated outside of this temple. And this one day, my life's changed, and I'm going to share this short secret with you before we wrap up. You want to know?
Yes.
Or should we just wrap it now? No. Okay, here goes. And there I was, exhausted, 130 degrees heat. I'd been going for weeks, diarrhea, tired, exhausted, on the verge of giving up. Sometimes you reach a point where you're about to give up. And that is the moment of your breakthrough. That is the moment. And I reached that moment in my life. And I remember seeing by a temple 10 beggars lined up. And they'd been begging every day, not a new thing in India. And I realized that I paid them no attention. And this one particular day, I looked down and I saw this one beggar sitting down. And he was the only beggar sitting down. And when I looked at him, in a nutshell, I saw him singing. You know what I'm saying? Singing. Everyone say singing. And I saw this beggar singing, and he was singing his heart out, and he was singing like he just didn't care, and he was singing, you know, like when you see someone singing and their soul is coming through them, and it doesn't matter what they sound like, they're just giving everything to everything, as everything, and he was singing, and I started to cry, because the vibration of his voice, seeing a man fully alive, living his purpose, giving everything, so shook my soul. I realized I was not fully alive. And I started to cry, and when I looked at this man, what was amazing was that he was blind. He couldn't see. This man couldn't see. And I realized I didn't see him the last 2 weeks I'd been in this town. And that wasn't all. When I looked more closely, I saw that this man had no arms, and he was beating the drums with stumps. Do you know what I'm saying? He was beating these drums with stumps. And I just started to weep even more. I mean, this man can't even go to the restroom by himself. Can't even eat by himself. Does everyone have arms here? Fingers? This man, let me see them. Wiggle them, wiggle them, wiggle them, wiggle them, wiggle them. This man had no arms, and he was beating the drums and singing his praises and singing his heart out like he just didn't care. Couldn't even see how much money he was being given, and I started to think about all the things in my life I was doing just to make money that I didn't really care about, but it was just, you know, it was a paycheck. And I started to think about this man couldn't see how many people were watching him sing. And I started to think about all the things I did in my life to get validation, to have people just like me. And as I started looking more closely at this man, I realized he was the only man sitting down because he had no legs. And he was completely crippled at the legs. No eyes, no arms, no legs, every reason and every excuse to hold his heart back, every reason and every excuse to not give his gift, every reason and every excuse to be mad at the world, to play the victim, to be upset. Yet he was giving his heart. And I realized, my friends, in that moment, this was not a blind man I was looking at. I realized in that moment, I was the blind man. And I realized in any given moment when I'm not giving my gift, because each and every one of you have radical gifts to give. Each and every one of you are encoded with such profound creativity and dreams and visions. Maybe a few of you have lost touch with them. Maybe some of you are living that to the max. Maybe there's a new level. Maybe you've achieved a certain level of your vision. But there's more that life is now seeking of you. I realized this man was not a blind man. Because whenever we're not giving our gifts fully, we're blind to our own light, to our own gifts, to who we truly are. And I went up to this man and I had to know the secret. And this is a simple moment when my life changed. And I'm going to share the secret with you today. Are you ready? Yes. And I went up to this man. This was a moment 14 years ago, 13 years ago, where just a light bulb went off. I had been looking for gurus and teachers and wise men and all these amazing things. And it was sometimes the universe will speak to you in the simplest of ways, my friends. And I looked at this man and I knelt down in front of this man. And I looked this man in the eyes. And he was blind, but it's like he looked right through me, right through me, right through me. And it's like he looked into my soul. And something moved in my soul as he just looked right through me. And I asked him, because I realized he'd been coming here every day, singing his heart out at the top of his heart and voice, 8 hours every day, singing and singing and singing and singing and singing without a care in the world. And I asked him, how do you do it? How do you manage to come out here every day without a care in the world and just give your gift regardless of what happens outside? My friend doesn't call me back and I'm pissed off. I'm upset. People say no and I want to give up. How do you manage to just give your gift? And I realized that for us all, there is an expanded capacity at which we're capable of giving that is so far beyond what we might be currently in touch with right now. And as I looked at this man, and I asked him the question, how do you do it? I had my notepad out, right? I'm ready to take some divine wisdom from this man. And he shared with me a simple secret that changed my life. Would you like to know? Yes. Who wants to know? This man simply looked me in the eyes. Switch! You got 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Grab a seat, grab a seat, grab a seat. We're on the home stretch. Because I'm about to share the secret with you. Grab a seat, quick, quick. Grab a seat. So as I look at this man, you still want to know the secret? Yes. As I look at this is the real secret, right? As I look at this man, and he looks at me in the eyes, with no eyes, and I say, how do you do it? How do you do it? And you know what he says to me? Changed my life in an instant. You know what he says? He looks me in the eyes and he says, what else is there to do? Seriously, what else is there to do? Like, what else? And he goes on singing. And I kind of had to sit with that a moment. I thought, the guy has a point. And he turns and he looks back at me. And he says the simplest thing. He says, life might give you what you want. It might give you every single thing you ever want. And life may not give you what you want. But no matter what, you can give life who you are. Moment to moment to moment. Are you giving life who you are, my friends? Are you giving life who you are and singing your song? I believe that each and every one of you has a song. a unique voice, a unique expression, a unique shade of the infinite that is seeking to express through your unique history and personality in a unique way? Are you giving it fully? And if not, why not? And if you're waiting for something, what is it you're waiting for to be different in your life? As I walked away from my friend, I had to ask myself one question. And I'd like you to ponder this question tonight as you drive home. I'd like you to marinate. Everyone say marinate. Marinate. Let me hear you say marinate. Marinate. Put your right hand in the air and say marinate. Marinate. Turn to someone next to you and say marinate. Marinate. I want you, you're marinating. I want you to ponder this question. I had to ask myself this question. What if today was the last day of your life? What if today was the last day of your life? Would you be ready? Would you be ready, my friends, to throw your arms wide open to the great mystery and say, take me. I'm ready. I'm giving everything I have. There is nothing being held back. I'm ready. Let's go. Would you be ready right now? If not, why not? What's unexpressed for you? What's ungiven for you? What's uncommunicated for you? What's unforgiven? Is there anything that you need to express? What if today, some of you might be saying, Kute, that's a little dramatic, come on. My astrologer told me I'm gonna live till like I'm 94. Had a reading. She gave me a psychic reading. I hope and pray that each of us live long lives, but I promise you, those beautiful people in 9/11 had no idea that they weren't coming home that night to be able to look their loved ones in the eyes one last time and say, I love you. Those beautiful people in the Southeast Asian tsunami had no idea that they weren't going to be coming home that night and looking their loved ones in the eyes one more time and simply saying, I'm sorry. What if today was that day, my friends? What's unexpressed? What would you need to express, do, communicate, complete in your life so that if that moment came, you could die complete, fully free? What would need to happen so you could throw your arms wide open and say, yes, take me? Ponder that for a moment. I got the lesson real strong when I went to Ghana 6 years ago for a birthday. And I took 12 of my friends. We flew in from around the world to have a real... Anyone been to Ghana? No? We're going. Connie, next gathering is in Ghana. Okay? Who's coming? Went to Ghana with 12 friends on a caravan of love. It was so beautiful, my friends. We journeyed and we had a great time, and one night we sat and danced together. And one of my dear friends, a 64-year-old Intel executive, a man by the name of Sri, a beautiful soul, saw us dancing, and we were just dancing around. Who likes to dance? And I saw Sri dance, we were dancing around, and Sri saw us all dancing, and he came up to us and says, Kute, I kind of have a phobia of dancing. A phobia of dancing. And he said, I wish I could be free. I said, Sri, you just have to take the limits and the judgments off what you call good dancing and just let yourself free. And the next day we went to a particular village. And about 5,000 people came to meet us in this village. And it was so beautiful. And we left and we got back onto the bus. And we said, where's Sri? We couldn't find my friend Sri anywhere. And we turned around and we saw my dear friend Sri, 64-year-old Intel executive who has a phobia of dancing his entire life. We saw him in the courtyard of this Ghanaian village, my friends, with no music, just dancing, 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 dancing. I thought Rumi had reincarnated. He was dancing. You know when you see a man free himself from the shackles of his personality, completely liberate himself. It was as though Sri had just liberated himself, and we just wept as this man just started to transcend. It was beautiful. And then Sri traveled to the north of Africa, and I promised, Sri was my best friend at the time, and I promised to be in touch with him a few weeks later. And sure enough, a few weeks later, I called up Sri, who lived in Phoenix. And I wanted to hear about Sri's journey, and his daughter picked up the phone. And she said, Sri just got back, he'll call you tomorrow. And I was so excited to hear about my best friend's journey throughout the rest of Ghana. And when I called Sri up the next day, she said, Sri has passed away. And I was stunned. Completely stunned. Because Sri and I had dreams as brothers. We were from different backgrounds, different parts of the world, different ages, but we had visions together. And I couldn't believe that moment. You know, like, death is like the only guarantee there is. Has anyone noticed? The moment you're born, it's the guarantee. I'm going to give you the most important time management technique ever. No quadrants, no systems, no computer spreadsheets, none of that. Are you ready? One sentence. You are going to die. You are going to die. Bottom line. It will happen. It is guaranteed. If you fully just accept that, embrace that this body will die. There's a part of your soul that cannot die, cannot be born. It's infinite, but this body will at some point soon pass away. If you embrace that fully, then maybe you can just get on with the purpose for which you were born, giving up the drama, committed to living your dharma now without another day to waste in your life. And as I sat there and I thought of my friend Sri, at first I was a little sad, but then I saw a vision of my friend Sri, my friends. I didn't see him dead. You know the vision I saw of my friend Sri? I saw my friend Sri dancing. I saw him dancing. And I saw him so alive that not even death could stop his aliveness. So my question to you tonight, my friends, in Beverly Hills, everyone say we're in Beverly Hills. We're in Beverly Hills. Is, are you ready to dance? Yes. Are you ready to do the dance for which you were born in this lifetime? No games, no more waiting, no more preparing, no more, when I get this in place and that in place. Like, the time is now. Exactly as you are, exactly as you're not, daring to give your gift right now. when you're done leaving here, when you're done meditating, when you're done levitating, when you're done yoga-fying, when you're done reading the books, listening to the DVDs, listening to me, the question is, are you ready to love? I really want you to just take this into your lives and dare to live your hearts as radically, as deeply, as profoundly as possible, so that you have no regrets whatsoever. Yes? Yes? Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm ready. I'm ready. Turn to the person on the other side and say, I'm ready. So as I wrap up, I'm going to keep this one short. A few of you have asked me standing out here about a seminar I do. All I'm going to say is this. If you want to know more, there's Heather, Denise, and Caesar. This seminar, unfortunately, is for the women. So for the men, can I hear some noise, women? So for the men, we have something special coming up for you soon. But this seminar is called the Man Breakthrough Experience. It's really about helping you understand men and transform the hidden blocks that really keep you from attracting love. I'm not going to go into it now. Here's all I'm going to say. If you feel moved, if you feel a calling in your heart, if you feel something stirring in your soul, and in 2.5 days you're ready for a profound, life-changing breakthrough, I'd like you to speak to one of my 3 team here, and we will hook you up. I love you so much. I bless you so much. I send you love, blessings, energy, power, light, force. You are amazing. Thank you so much.
Louder, come on, give it up for Kute Blackson.
Kute Blackson, and he was an amazing inspirational speaker.
My favorite part of the evening was when the speaker had us really be quiet, be still, and be present, and to be aware inside of ourselves of what might be stopping us, and then to summon up that energy and actually bring it up all the way from the ground in a primal scream and release all that. It was awesome.
Well, how could you not like Kute? His motivational, inspirational speech. I mean, I think I was taken with the whole idea about this man here. He described his inspiration, his moment when he got it, of this guy who had no legs, no arms, who was able to sing his soul out. He was able to sing his song out. That I think, and he was a blind man, and he had nothing else. He couldn't sing, but he was singing anyway. I think to the idea that we should be doing that in our own lives. We have everything available to us, and yet we don't take advantage of it. I think it really resonated with me. I think it was one of the best, most, the highlights of the evening for me was listening to Kute's speech, and to living your Dharma. You know, being in line with your Dharma, finding what it is and what's holding you back, what's keeping you from doing that. And that really, really resonated with me tonight. And you know, I'm on the brink of moving into a whole different direction in life, and it's like he was talking to me, so I felt like he was.